objectives for today's training. We are going to define the clinical research essential documentation. We will also determine essential subject and non-subject specific documentation requirements per each trial. We will also discuss essential documentation for drug versus device versus combination products, and also prepare for regulatory inspection. So that's a proactive and a reactive use of essential documentation. So essential documents, what are they and what do they include? So essential documents are documents which individually and collectively permit evaluation of the conduct of a trial and the quality of the data that's been produced. I like to look at it this way, that essential documents essentially are those documents which allow individuals at the site, if you would leave the site and then an FDA inspection or if a sponsor audit occurred and you were not there, if you did your job in the appropriate documentation for what occurred for that particular trial, those individuals that would be performing the audit or the inspection would be able to see the story of what occurred during that particular trial that was being conducted at your site. So again, it's telling the story. I have listed here the big 5 items that have been noted during inspections at investigative sites. And in your handout that you received, you have handout number 2, which is the Compliance Program Guidance Document, or the CPGM. Sometimes it's referred to as the BIMO, for investigator inspection from an FDA. And here are the top 5 items that investigative sites have been receiving either 483s or warning letters. So misconduct and fraud, lack of supervision of the study and delegation of responsibilities, communication breakdown, which has occurred either with the sponsor in communicating with the investigator or the investigator in his or her communication with the IRB, and this one right here, which is no record keeping and documentation or poor documentation and record keeping, which essentially would be what impacts our essential documents. And then lastly, not adhering to the key elements of data quality and data integrity. On this particular slide, I've listed the FDA regulations, and then also in the handouts, you have received guidance documents which will help better explain some of the regulations. And so if you are not familiar with the FDA guidance documents, I highly recommend that you review the FDA guidance documents that we've attached. There is great explanation when it comes to questions and answers and really looking at the spirit of what the FDA has intended in the regulation. So listed under 21 CFR Part 11, that's where you're going to find information regarding electronic records. And handout number 8 is the guidance document that addresses electronic records. 21 CFR Part 50 addresses informed consent, and handout number 1 and handout number 9 have information regarding the guidance document, and then we have a checklist, which is handout number 9 that you can refer to. 21 CFR Part 54 discusses financial disclosure, and we're going to go over all of these in detail during today's session, and that is handout number 5. And then 21 CFR Part 56 is where we can find information regarding IRB approval, IRB composition, and handout number 1 addresses those questions.